Hello, Helena. My name is Maggie Bornstein, Development Coordinator at United Way, the Lewis and Clark area, filling in for Emily McVeigh today. I'm here with the good folks of Family Promise of the Greater Helena area. If you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm Renee Bauer. I am the Executive Director of Family Promise.
I'm Randy Rake. I'm the Board President.
Awesome. Thanks so much for being here. I know about the good work that Family Promise is doing, but I think the broader Helena community would really benefit to learn more. So could you tell us a little bit about Family Promise and then what your 2023 has looked like?
I would love to. Let me start with our core program is we provide shelter for children and their families, emergency temporary shelter until we can find them stable housing. Then we have a number of programs in addition to our core program that we have expanded in the last 5 years and really done so to better serve the community.
That's awesome.
And how long have we been in Helena now? Did we get to 15 or are we at 13 years?
10.
Forget. Oh, more than
So
10.
Yeah. No, we're at 13.
Awesome. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about like the services you offer, going a little bit more into depth about what that looks like for those who are maybe unfamiliar with what it might be like to navigate these systems and what folks need?
Sure. Our core program is our in-house or in-program, and that's when families find us either by themselves or through other organizations, and they come totally into the program. So we provide housing and food for them for a period of time as they take their parenting classes and they get back on their feet and they're able to save money. And then eventually once they graduate from our program, then they can move into housing if it's available. And then Renee started a different program a couple years ago. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we do prevention and diversion. It was determined several years ago that it is more cost effective to keep families stably housed than to spend all the money that it takes and the trauma that they go through to rehouse them. So prevention and diversion is a program that will take families who are vulnerable to either being evicted or losing housing for some reason or another, and we will do all kinds of things to prop them up. We do financial literacy programming. We'll help them with transportation needs, make sure that everybody's getting their educational requirements. The prevention diversion program covers a wide variety of services, but has been very, very successful and really utilized in Helena. From January until September, so you're only going to get that part of the year on my data. We served 133 families this year in that prevention and diversion program. So it's very, I hate to use the word popular, but it's very well utilized and helps folks stay safely housed.
Yeah, it keeps them out. They don't get into the homeless cycle of having to move all their stuff out, reapplying, all the fees that go along with being evicted and all that trauma. So keeping them in housing that they currently have is the best way.
So we have another program that we developed via a grant called the Landlord Engagement Program. And this one's kind of funny because they gave us funding to create relationships with landlords so that we could more readily get our people into housing faster. And that's been pretty successful. We've had 3 landlords this year, and they own a multiple number of properties. So that helps us hopefully be able to transition our folks into safe and secure housing quicker. Right now, in our shelter program, folks are an average of 9 months, which is awfully long to have to be in a shelter. We would like to shorten up that time span to what it was pre-COVID, which used to be 3 months. So
yeah, in 3 months they would usually be on their feet and they'd have some money saved to do. We even do their security deposit first month rent to get them started back out, but they usually have money saved by then. They're ready to go. But with the lack of rental units, we've had to keep people in the program for a long, long time, and that's taken away resources from other families that are waiting to get in.
Wow.
And this year we wrote another grant that was through the Children's Trust Fund, and this one is really fun. It's called the Community Response Program, and in that program we get references from CPS and a number of other agencies, including the school, and they refer families who they believe are vulnerable, who need some parenting skills. The point is to avoid having the children removed or go into the CPS type of system. And so that is fun. We've had 23 families through that little program since May, and I think that it's going to be very impactful. We work with families, and Matt Furlong is our director of that program, and he actually goes into people's houses and works with them. So he actually gets the advantage of seeing the environment and seeing what they're working with, and we find the resources to make that work better for them. Circle of Security is a key to that program that we require folks to take for a class.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
super
lot.
great.
That is a
Yeah.
really fun pilot program. That'll go on through next September, and then we're hoping that it will be picked up as a permanent program.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful too. The other thing that I would ask is, are you pretty tied down to exclusively Helena, or are you working in any other areas?
Well, that's another expansion thing we did.
With your staff
recently.
of 2, you thought
Yeah,
you'd
with the staff
expand
of
some.
2, we expanded to Townsend and Broadwater County. And that
Wow.
has been really, really fun and very interesting, because Townsend and Broadwater County don't necessarily have the same kind of homeless problem that Helena has. But what they do have is a huge prevention and diversion type of problem. They have a lot of folks who are right on the cusp, who are pretty vulnerable to losing housing. So we've done a lot of propping up and working with families that way down in that county and neighborhoods. One of the funny stories, and I think it's cute, we hired a staff person who lives there so that because she has a much better feel for the community and she knows the people, she's been there forever. And she came to us and she said, I don't need help with their Northwest Energy bills. I don't have utility bills. What I need help with is firewood.
Oh,
These
right.
people
Absolutely.
still all
Heat their
have, lots and lots of folks have wood burners for their heat source. And she said, so the Northwest Energy bill help doesn't do me any good. Could I get a pile of firewood? So we developed 2 community piles of firewood
Oh my
in
gosh.
order to help serve that kind of need in the community. So it's been really fun because their needs are the same but different.
That's amazing. It feels like you all are so in touch in so many different ways with this community need. I am very touched by that.
Yeah, that started with a grant from National, I think.
It did.
And then we had some nice matching funds that came out of Broadwater County and some people down there, so it took off pretty fast. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
That is great. I'm curious if you can talk about the rotational housing program that you all have and how that functions a little bit.
Rotational is usually at churches right now, and Carroll College takes a month in the summer. So with our partner congregations, I think there might be 12 of them. Not all of them house, but they all provide some kind of service. Food is a big thing too. There's 1 meal a day that gets provided to all the families. So whoever's in the rotation for that week provides the meals, and the overnight guests host. So there's 2 people that are on site where the families stay. So it's usually at a church.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's super great to have such great partners in the community.
We couldn't do it without the community. Those
Yeah.
partners are what make the program run.
Mhm.
Really.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They do
Yeah.
a
I
lot
totally
of the
believe it.
work comes from that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's excellent. That is so excellent. Oh my gosh. I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about your future plans and kind of what's on the horizon for you all, what you're looking at.
We snicker because I talk a lot about program expansion, because from where we started with our core, just shelter, we're doing all these other things now. We've also determined that we need more space and we need to have more staff, and so we are doing some pretty significant programs, expansion, excuse me. We need much more in facility size. We need to have classroom types areas where we can do programming with folks. Ultimately, someday we'd like to have a daycare. That would be paramount
Yeah.
to helping our families.
Yeah,
So
'cause they're getting up every morning. Kids have to go to school. They don't have a home to live in. They might be living in a car. They might be however before they get to us, but they still have their daily. If it's daycare or off to school, those things have to happen first thing in the morning every time. So, yeah.
So we're trying to acquire more space so we can achieve that goal of program expansion, and then utilize the day center as it currently is, although we may build an addition onto it so we have
Ooh.
more shelter space.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That
we're still
is-
working with the ARPA funds that came down through the city, so we're making plans on how to best utilize those for our first part of our expansion. So we have another expansion coming too, hopefully. So.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
We've been really busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot for our Helena neighbors to support if they are interested. Sounds like you have a lot of great projects coming along.
Yeah, Helena is a great community. They're very giving. You can look at Food Share and Florence Crittenton, how they're expanding. So the need is out there and people are responding to it. So we appreciate it and the families appreciate it.
For sure. Oh my goodness.
Now we have a really fun thing coming up.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's our holiday concert.
'Cause you have to have a fundraiser every time.
Yes, well,
Absolutely.
That's
you
where
know,
it comes from. So,
the
yeah.
concert's fun. It's beautiful. It will get you in the Christmas mood if you're not yet. It is John Floridis, and this year it's going to be December 12th at 7 p.m. And every year St. Paul's United Methodist Church hosts that for us, and it is a really neat evening of beautiful music and light refreshments.
Oh, great.
So everybody should come.
Yeah.
It would be lots of fun to fill the sanctuary with listeners for this music. It is available through a live feed. St. Paul's hosts that, so you can go to their website and figure that out. But it's really fun to attend because then you get the cookies.
Oh, yeah. And it for the cookies.
That's the important part.
And for the families.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what is the date on that again, one more time?
Sorry, December 12th at 7 o'clock in the evening at St. Paul's Church.
Awesome. Very great.
Yep, and it's just, there's no tickets. It's free will donation at the door. And of course, we'll take other donations too to help with the programming. So, yeah.
Of course.
If you're in the holiday spirit.
And when we're talking about funny donations, sometimes we get cars donated, which is always a
Oh,
need. We like
yeah.
cars. I'm highly favorable to cars.
Yeah.
But one of the most unusual donations that we've had recently was a beef,
Oh.
which was amazing.
How-
We're very excited about the beef.
That's
That'll
awesome.
feed a lot of people for a long time.
That is very true.
So it was really neat.
Yeah.
But there's good church volunteers to cook it, sounds
Yeah.
like, which is lovely.
Exactly. Donations are fun, and they come in many, many forms.
Seriously.
Even
yes.
people's time and energy is truly appreciated.
Yeah, if people wanted to give you their time, energy, cold hard cash,
Car.
expertise, board
Beef.
service, beef, how would they go about doing that?
Our offices right now are located at 2814 North Cook. They can just stop by. Literally, if you stay in the parking lot and start yelling, someone will come out and help you. Or you can call. Our number is 406-465-9467. You can email me. That's an easy address. It's director@familypromisehelena.org. And we would love to hear from anybody who's interested in coming to play with us.
Good. That's awesome. I'm sure there's lots of ways people would love to be involved in it. Sounds like you will take all the help you can get.
All of it.
Big
makes,
issue.
It makes a difference in people's lives. It really does.
Yeah, of course. You can play a big part in a big issue. And so, my gosh. Is there anything else you'd like to share about Family Promise before we wrap up for this afternoon?
Do you know anything else up your sleeve, do you?
I don't. We're busy, and busy is good, but busy is also sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of kids.
And then when it starts to get colder, people start, and when school starts, kids have to be enrolled in school, so we get a big rush then. And now
Yeah.
it got warm again, but it'll get cold, and the families will be out in the cold. So
The
be
Helena
looking for
Public
help.
Schools created a school homeless liaison
Yes.
position, and that has been really beneficial for us because now the school district actually has a pretty good count and helps us as we help them in keeping track of making sure kids are in safe shelter.
Good.
It's a really important thing.
Sounds like, a meaningful collaboration.
Yes.
yeah, if they don't have a place to live and they don't have food, they're not going to learn.
Yeah.
So they're disadvantaged their whole lives.
Well, thank you both so much for what you do for our community. It clearly is making a big impact on lots of families, and then obviously the broader spectrum of making just Helena a better place to have Family Promise here. So thank you all so much. See you next week. Thank you, Helena.
Thank you.
Thank you.